Okay. So good evening, everyone. I hope you can hear me. So first of all, before we start, let me know if you can hear me, because that's going to be an important part. So please type yes if you can hear me. So hi to everyone. I see that everyone is saying hello. That's nice. So if you can hear me, please type yes, and then we will start our session. Okay, great. So my name is Nash Akthar. So you're here to learn the essential skills for reading and how to write a very good essay for writing in IELTS. So I want to make sure that the session is going to be an enlightening session, a useful session. So that is why, if you can't hear me, refresh the browser. Okay, so refresh your browser if you can't hear me. The session is going to be rather interactive, especially with reading. So you'll be getting involved, typing your answers. So that's going to be an important part. And then, guys, in case you have questions, you can ask your questions at the end of our session. So I think everything should be fine. So if you can hear me, please type yes, like yes, we can hear you. And then we will start our session. Okay. Okay, great. Great. I see many yeses, so that means it's fine. Great. So I would like to introduce myself. My name is Nash Akthar. I'm a certified IELTS trainer. I'm also the co-founder of Master IELTS Online, which is an online platform, an online school. So we prepare students through Zoom, through our own platform. And, our preparation is rather unique. And not only students from Sri Lanka, but around the world, they prepare for IELTS with us. So, speaking more about myself, I started my career as an IELTS trainer. Then I became an official IELTS administrator in Eastern Europe. Then I became an official IELTS exam centers director, where I was in charge of conducting the IELTS exam in Eastern Europe, countries like Russia, then, of course, Estonia, then also Uzbekistan. So we've had many exam centers throughout Eastern Europe. Then I've also trained many teachers to become certified IELTS trainers. Not long ago, but actually it's more than a year now, I was in Sri Lanka. I also conducted a seminar related to IELTS, and also we gifted our symbolic souvenir. Whenever students achieve a band 7 and higher, we gift them a mug. So these are our students who prepared with us and achieved a very high score in IELTS. So, like I said, guys, today we're going to focus on reading and writing. I'm sure you must have seen the promo. So that's the main aim today, to show y'all what you should do to achieve a very high score in IELTS reading. And in order to do that, you need to learn the 4 essential skills for reading. Then I will teach you how to match headings. So how you should match headings with paragraphs. These are very common question types and are the most challenging question types. Then I'm going to teach you how to answer true, false, not given. And then for writing, guys, I'm going to show you how you should write a band 9 essay. So this means I'm going to show you what exactly the examiner would look for and how you should meet those requirements. Like I said, I have worked as an official IELTS administrator. So I have worked with many examiners. I know how the process works. So I had the opportunity to discuss different things. So I'm going to show you exactly what the examiner would look for, because IELTS writing is considered to be the most challenging, and quite often students fail to achieve the required score, let's say a band 7 and higher, for writing, and they end up taking the exam many times. So guys, since you have joined this session, I would also like to know something about you. So could you please introduce yourself? Can you tell me, why do you need IELTS? Why do you need IELTS? What is the required score? Do you need a band 6, a band 7, a band 8? When are you planning to take this exam? Is it this month? Maybe next month? Maybe in 2 months? So once again, why do you need IELTS? Is it for immigration, maybe to enter a foreign university? And what is the required score? Do you need a band 6, 6.5, 7, 7.5? And when are you planning to take the exam? Are you planning to take the exam in a month, in 2 months, in 3 months? And I have another question. What is the most challenging section for you? Is it reading, writing, listening, or speaking? So please type and get yourself more involved. I think that would be important. So would really like to know all our participants today. Okay, so I see that someone is planning to take the exam very soon, almost this month, and need 6.5. Okay. So going to take the exam next month, purpose for PhD. Okay. Now, I also see that some say that they can't hear me. Refresh the browser, check your sound system. It should be fine. So immigration band 7. Okay. Okay, so hi to everyone who's saying hi to me. Great, reading. Okay, so someone has said it's matching heading. So today you're going to work on matching heading. So after my approach, let me know if you found it useful. Okay. Also, guys, would like to know which section do you find the most challenging? Is it listening, reading, writing, or speaking? And I have another question. Do we have retakers? Have you already taken the exam? Yes or no? Do we have those who have already taken this exam and maybe didn't achieve their required score? Okay. So some, they just need 5.5, which is not a very high requirement. Okay. Okay. Sit in 3 months. Okay. Reading. So great. So I see that many are saying reading is the most challenging. So once again, guys, remember, I'm not going to conduct a session where I'm going to brag about myself or about my organization. So during the first 1 hour, I am going to teach, and especially with reading, I want you all to be focused 100%. So stop, watching something else, stop listening to music, because the next 30 minutes would be crucial, because especially for IELTS reading, if you find IELTS reading, I'm going to share some points which you will not find even on YouTube. So don't take this session for granted. And I'm not going to do the usual promotion, right? Like when they say free, they just speak about themselves. They just go through the general structure of IELTS, and rarely they teach. I'm not going to do that, because I understand that you are here because you have trusted me, and I'm not going to disappoint you. So don't worry. But the only request is try to stay focused. Fine. So thanks for sharing. Okay. So many are saying reading and writing. Fine, guys. So let's start. But before I start, maybe we could have students who are new for the IELTS format. So let me just explain what is IELTS before we start with reading. So remember, it stands for International English Language Testing System, and it is the most popular language test in the world. So over 3.5 million candidates, I would say even now it's like 4 million candidates that sit for this exam every year. Now, quite often students, they focus on this exam as a test to pass to immigrate or to enter a university. And many of them fail to understand the true purpose, like how the exam is structured. What I want you to understand, guys, if you prepare properly and if you achieve a band 6.5 and higher, you prove that you can use English fluently in a professional English speaking environment. That means if you achieve a good score, then you'll be able to negotiate in English, you'll be able to read and understand the general idea. So all that you learn would be very beneficial for your professional life. Now, that's something that you all should keep in mind, because quite often students just focus on strategies, shortcuts, right? And they don't understand the true essence. Now, do not have that kind of mindset. Try to focus on the process, enjoy the overall preparation, learn useful things, and see how it will be beneficial beyond IELTS, especially for your professional life. Now, with that kind of a mindset, I'm very sure you can achieve a very good score. So do keep that in mind. So once again, whatever that you learn would be useful for your professional life, to be well structured, to be well organized, to use some uncommon words. And for listening and reading, you will acquire skills, especially for reading. When you're at work, you'll be able to understand the general idea, or maybe you'll be able to find specific information. For listening, guys, maybe when you attend a conference, a seminar, a lecture talk, you will be developing skills which would be useful for you to summarize key areas. So that's the main purpose. Now, let's move on. So when it comes to IELTS, there are 4 sections. We have listening, reading, writing, and speaking. Today, I saw that many of you all mentioned that reading and writing are the most challenging. And I would say, to a certain extent, you are right. But when you prepare for this exam, have a strategy. Listening is the first section where you can achieve a band 9. So if you prepare properly, if you learn the approach to each and every question type, if you master the 4 essential skills, you can definitely achieve a band 9. I can assure you, because we have seen many students, even from Sri Lanka, who have achieved a very high score for listening. Then comes reading. Reading is not difficult, but the most important part is that you need to master 4 essential skills. Then we have writing, and then we have speaking. Speaking and then writing. So writing is the most challenging. What I want to say is writing is a section where students struggle to achieve even a band 7, especially for immigration. Or if you have students who are planning to immigrate to Australia or Canada, depending on their specialty or depending on their profession, maybe they might need 7 for each section. And in order to achieve a 7, you just need to understand what exactly the examiner would look for and how you should prepare for it. So that's why I thought that with this session, not just to speak about the structure of IELTS, but just to focus on reading and writing, and especially on reading, and teach you all some essential skills. So now let's start with reading. So remember, guys, at the exam, you will have listening, reading, writing at a stretch without any breaks. So that's like, the first part. And the speaking part could be on the same day, or maybe the day before or the day after. So the exam center would inform when you will have the speaking part. The most important point now is to understand that with listening, reading, and writing, you won't have breaks in between. So everything will be done without breaks. But of course, you can go to the washroom, but the time will be ticking. So listening would be the first section, and after listening, it will be reading. And by the way, the listening section is going to be for half an hour. If you take the paper-based test, you will have 10 minutes extra to transfer your answers from the question booklet to the answer sheet. Reading is going to be for 60 minutes. So now let's focus on reading. So here are some points that you should know. So once again, reading is going to be the second section. Soon after listening, it's going to be for 1 hour. There will be 3 passages. The first will be the easiest. The second will be more complex. And the last will be the most complex. So there will be 3 passages. The first will be the easiest. The second will be more challenging than the first one. And the last one will be the most challenging. Each passage will be about 700 to 900 words long and would have 6 to 10 paragraphs. So please remember that. So each passage will have 700 to 900 words and would have 6 to 10 paragraphs. So that is why you're not supposed to read the whole passage word by word. So if you believe that you can answer all the questions by reading the whole passage from the beginning till the end, that's going to be a mistake. That's going to be a mistake. So don't have that attitude. Don't follow that approach. So in total, there will be 40 questions in the reading test. That is, each of the 3 passages will have between 12 and 14 questions. So the reading test will be the second test in the IELTS exam just after the listening test. Okay, so that's something that you all should know. Now, those who have just joined us, I see that some of you all are typing certain questions which are irrelevant to our session. So if that's the case, we'll have to let you go. So make sure, guys, that you type questions related to IELTS and nothing beyond that. Okay, because we have students who are focusing, so do not distract them. So I would really appreciate that you don't type anything unnecessary. And if you do that, our moderators might have to let you go. So don't get offended, because I am very keen on making this session useful. So make sure to focus, to listen, answer my questions when I ask. And in case you have extra questions related to IELTS, you can raise those questions or type those questions at the end. So because we're going to have a Q&A session. So once again, please do not type anything unnecessary. Make sure that you're focusing and listening to me carefully, because what I'm sharing would be very useful. I'm 100% sure. Today, the problem in Sri Lanka is that, would you believe, over 60% of the candidates are unable to achieve their required score. On average, students end up taking the exam more than twice. You know the exam price already. It's about 75,000 rupees, if I'm not mistaken. That's a huge amount of money. So our main goal should be to prepare effectively and to achieve our desired score on our first attempt, right? So make sure to listen and don't type anything unnecessary. If you're trying to distract others, we'll have to let you go. Okay, fine. So guys, remember what I mentioned. There are three passages. There are three passages. The first is the easiest. The second one becomes more challenging. And the last passage becomes the most challenging, right? So that's why you need to spend your time effectively. So make sure to spend 15 minutes on the first passage, 20 minutes on the second passage, and 25 minutes on the last passage. Any certified IELTS trainer, any professional IELTS trainer should know this time management formula. Now, this is something that you all should check if you're planning to join a course or even a private tutor. Ask them, what is the time management formula? What is the difficulty level of each and every passage? So remember, the first passage is the easiest. So spend 15 minutes on the first passage. Then spend 20 minutes on the second passage because it becomes more challenging. And make sure you have enough time for the third passage. So spend most of the time on the third passage, which is around 25 minutes. So 15, 20, 25. So that's how you should manage your time, guys. Okay? So great. Now, if you don't spend enough time on the last passage, you won't be able to kind of, answer all the questions within 40 minutes. So that's why don't spend too much time on the first passage, and make sure you have enough time for the last passage. Okay? So that's it. Now, guys, there are 4 essential skills you need to master. Okay? So that's something that you all should know. So in IELTS reading, you're not supposed to read the whole passage word by word. So there are 4 skills you need to master, and these are the essential guidelines from official IELTS. So that means you need to skim read a paragraph. That means to read quickly and understand the general idea. When you want to find specific information like names, dates, you need to scan. Then you need to work on paraphrasing. It's an important skill. In fact, paraphrasing is important for all 4 sections. And also, guys, when you read questions, you need to identify keywords. Keywords are adjectives, adverbs, nouns, names, and so on. So during our first part of this session, I'm going to show you the importance of each of these skills. And then, guys, I'm going to help you all to implement those skills. That's why this lesson is going to be very unique, because we're going to focus on each and every skill and how we can implement them, or how we should implement them based on different question types. Okay? So let's start with skimming. So what is skimming? Skimming means to read quickly and understand the general idea. Skimming means to read quickly and understand the general idea. So look at the exam tip here. It says you have limited time to take the IELTS exam. So read only what you need to know in order to do the task. It is a good idea to read the first sentence of a short paragraph only. In longer paragraphs, read the first and last sentence. This technique is called skim reading. Okay, so you have limited time to take the IELTS exam, so that's why you can't read each and every word. So you can just read the first sentence of a paragraph. And if the paragraph is very long, you can read the first and the last sentence. Now, you might say, like, how can that be logical, right? You might wonder, like, is this really logical? It is. It is logical. You know how? Because if you look at the paragraph structure, quite often the first sentence or the topic sentence can have the general meaning, or it would mention what the paragraph is about. So the topic sentence would be a reflection of the whole paragraph. And when you read the last sentence, it would confirm the topic sentence. Because, the last sentence could have reasons, examples, and so on. Okay, so that's why, guys, you don't have to read the whole paragraph word by word, each and every sentence. You need to develop this skill to read the first sentence and the last sentence. Now, to understand that better, what I want you all to do is I want you all to read the first sentence of this paragraph and the last sentence, and then choose the correct heading. Look at the first sentence. It says, since the beginning, trees have furnished us with two of life's essentials, food and oxygen. Okay, since the beginning, trees have furnished us with two of life's essentials, food and oxygen. They have provided us. The last sentence says, today, their value continues to increase and more benefits of trees are being discovered as their role expands to satisfy the needs created by our modern lifestyles. So today, their value continues to increase with our modern lifestyle. So can you choose the correct heading, my dear students? Is it A, B, or C? A says, everyday and unexpected human needs met by trees. Then B says, the changing value of trees with the development of human civilization. C says, the persistence of trees in the human memory. Now, the thing is, guys, the first sentence says, since the beginning, trees have furnished us with two of life's essentials, food and oxygen. Today, their value continues to increase and more benefits of trees are being discovered as their role expands to satisfy the needs created by our modern lifestyles. Well done. Well done. So I see the answers coming. I see the answers coming. We didn't read the second sentence. We read the first and the last sentence. And definitely the correct heading is B. You all got it right. You all got it right. The changing value of trees with the development of human civilization. Well done. Why? Look at the headings, key phrases. Changing value of trees, development of human civilization. And here, if you look at it, it says, today their value continues to increase and more benefits of trees are being discovered as their role expands to satisfy the needs created by our modern lifestyles. So you see, more values are being discovered, right, to meet our modern lifestyle, to meet the needs of our modern lifestyle. So definitely it is B. It's not C, the persistence of trees in the human memory. It's not A, everyday and unexpected human needs met by trees. It is B. Now, with that momentum, let's try to match headings. Now, if you want to achieve a very high score in IELTS reading, you need to know the approach to different question types. Because in IELTS reading, we have matching headings, true, false, not given, yes, no, not given. Then we have multiple choice questions. Then we have completing a summary. Then we have short answer questions. So mainly there are 8 types. Finding information in a paragraph. So the thing is, guys, if you want to achieve a very good score, a very high score, you need to learn the approach to each and every question type. Without that, it's going to be really difficult. So if you have your exam tomorrow, today, instead of focusing on practice tests, you should be at a level where you know the proven strategies or the step-by-step approach to every question type. Without that, you can't prepare for this exam. When I was in Sri Lanka, when I was conducting job interviews, because we thought of hiring some Sri Lankan teachers, unfortunately, most of them are unaware of the approaches. And these are the teachers who are preparing students. So I'm not criticizing, but what, from my experience, it is a fact. So what I want you all to know is if you don't know the approach to every question type, it's going to be challenging. So for matching headings, here are the steps you should know. Number one, when you have to match headings with paragraphs, read the first and the last sentence only. Then, guys, based on what you've read, make a prediction. Kind of give a heading for the paragraph. Okay, predict what kind of heading is suitable. Then go through the list of headings and choose the suitable one. So choose the heading which is suitable with your prediction, which goes close with your prediction, and underline the keywords and see if there are points supporting the heading in the middle of the paragraph. So once you choose a heading, look for some keywords and see if they match your choice. So you need to look for synonyms in the middle of the paragraph. Okay, so read the first and the last sentence. Think about a heading that could be suitable. Then go through the list of headings. Choose the heading which is closer to your assumption. Pay attention to keywords in that heading and look for some supporting points or like some key phrases in the middle of the paragraph. Now look at this paragraph. Let's do it together, okay? It says, many animals, including elephants, koalas, and giraffes, eat leaves for nourishment. Many animals, including elephants, koalas, and giraffes, eat leaves for nourishment. Leaf-covered branches keep many animals, such as birds and squirrels, out of the reach of predators. So here, guys, I see that how trees are useful for animals. That's my assumption. A says how trees reduce harmful elements in their natural surroundings. B says how trees are useful for wildlife. C says why animals eat leaves from trees. Now, you see, guys, we have A and B, how trees reduce harmful elements. C, why animals eat leaves from trees, how trees are useful for wildlife. The topic center says many animals, including elephants, koalas, and giraffes, eat leaves for nourishment. Leaf-covered branches keep many animals, such as birds and squirrels, out of the reach of predators. So here, guys, it shows that how trees are useful for wild animals, and I see the answers coming. So let me share the answers with you all. Yes, it's B. Yes, it's B. Because if you look at the middle of the paragraph, you also see phrases like flowers are eaten by monkeys. And also it says this process helps disperse seeds over great distances. Hundreds of living creatures call trees their home. So yes, it supports it, and the correct heading is B. Now, I also see a very interesting question from someone. The question is it applicable in every time? And the answer for that is yes. Why? Because it's not my method. These are the official guidelines. And let me be even more convincing. When the official IELTS organizations like Cambridge or all the other organizations, when they create these question papers, they follow this method. They follow this method. So that's why once you choose a heading, it's not just reading the first and the last sentence. That is just the first step. So don't get it wrong. You cannot choose a heading only by reading the first and the last sentence. Don't get me wrong. What I said is that's the first step. After that, you need to choose a heading. Once you choose a heading, look for keywords and see if you can find synonyms and similar expressions in the middle of the paragraph. Now here, guys, how trees are useful for wildlife. It matches because giraffes, koalas, they're wild animals. And if you look at the middle of the paragraph, some phrases like, Hundreds of living creatures call trees their home. Leaf-covered branches keep many animals, such as birds and squirrels, out of the reach of predators. So you see, the whole heading matches that paragraph, right? So you can't argue. So once again, you should think like that. You have to have a logical approach, and this works 100%. It's not a like a tested method. It's not a research method. It is the official guideline. So if it's an official guideline, you cannot argue. You cannot, you see? Fine. So let's move on. Now look at the next one. I'm not going to help you much, but I want you all to be very attentive. So what should be the heading? Now here it says individual trees and shrubs have value and contribute to savings, but it is the collective influence of a well-maintained landscape that makes a real economic impact and has the greatest effect on property value. Trees properly placed around buildings can reduce air conditioning needs by 30% and save 20 to 50% in energy used for heating. So here, guys, it's about energy saving, right? So what should be the correct heading? The aesthetic value of trees, the presence of trees in the modern metropolis, how trees can save people's money, the persistence of trees in the human memory. Now, once you choose a heading, look for some synonyms, some key phrases in the middle of the paragraph very quickly. Synonyms, some expressions. Now, for example, right? For example, if you choose A, look if you can find some key phrases reflecting A. If you choose B, see if you can find some keywords, expressions, synonyms related to B. If it's C, try to see if you can find some expressions related to C. Look, guys, in the middle of the paragraph, it says direct economic benefits come from a savings. Cooling costs are reduced in tree shaded home. And also, according to the USDA Forest Service, trees properly placed around buildings can reduce air conditioning needs by 30%, save 20 to 50%. So those who said A, there's nothing about aesthetic value, nothing about beautification. Those who mentioned B, there's nothing about presence of trees in modern metropolis. It's not the key point. The whole paragraph emphasizes on C, how trees can save people's money. If we can save energy, we can bring down the cost. So the logical thought would be C. It's not A, it is C. Well done. Because here, guys, how trees can save people's money. And look at the key phrases in the middle of the paragraph too. I mean, the word save, savings. Okay? Savings. You see savings everywhere. So you see, and here, save 20 to 50% in energy used for heating. So if we can save our energy on heating, that means we can bring down the cost effectively. So it's okay to make mistakes now, but don't make such mistakes at the exam. But the point here is to learn the process. Focus on the process. Focus on the approach. Now, that's the most important part. That is the most important part. Now, this one, guys, is a different topic. Now, I want you all to go slowly. It's about Europe is now the biggest market for organic food in the world, expanding by 25% a year over the past 10 years. So, what is the attraction of organic food for some people? The real desire is to be somehow close to the soil, to Mother Nature. Can you choose the correct heading here? Europe is now the biggest market for organic food in the world, expanding by 25% a year over the past 10 years. So, what is the attraction of organic food for some people? And the real desire is to be somehow close to the soil, to Mother Nature. So, based on the first and the last sentence, choose a heading. Read carefully. Okay, now I want you all to kind of, once again, Europe is now the biggest market for organic food in the world. It's the biggest market, expanding by 25% a year over the past 10 years. Read carefully, guys. Now, you're not supposed to read the whole paragraph, so read slowly. What does it mean? That means organic food is becoming extremely popular in Europe. So what is the attraction of organic food for some people? That means why organic food is becoming popular. Look at the last sentence. It says the real desire is to be somehow close to the soil, to Mother Nature. Now, those who say C, research into whether organic food is better for us. Look at in the middle of the paragraph. It says eating organic is a way of defining oneself as natural, good, caring. As one journalist put, it feels closer to a source. There's nothing about a research here, nothing about a survey. Look at A, factors that can affect food quality. It's not about food quality, it's about organic food. The question is, what is the attraction of organic food for some people? So it is B, isn't it? The main reason for the popularity of organic food. Because look at the first sentence once again. Europe is now the biggest market for organic food in the world, expanding by 25% a year over the past 10 years. So what is the attraction of organic food for some people? You see? So here, guys, yes, it must be confusing, challenging, but that's the process. So if you're getting it wrong, you're not paying much attention to the first sentence. You're not reading it attentively. But if you read the first sentence attentively, paying attention to keywords, then it would be easier for you all to understand what it is about. So here, guys, these are reasons. So this paragraph is about the reasons of organic food being popular. You can't argue with that. So that's the approach. Well done. Well done. Now I see that many are saying it's B. So well done. Very good. Well done. Okay. So I'll give you some time to kind of grasp it, what we are learning. So remember, it's all about reading the first and the last sentence, getting an idea. And once you choose a heading, guys, now that's the most important. Once you choose a heading, pay attention to keywords like main reason, popularity, organic food. So if you look at the whole paragraph, it justifies that. It justifies that. So that's the correct approach. Fine. Now, guys, one more, the last one for matching headings, the last one for matching headings. Maybe we can have another one too. Can you read the first and the last sentence and choose the correct heading? Organic farming is often claimed to be safer than conventional farming for the environment and for consumers. Organic farming is often claimed to be safer than conventional farming for the environment and consumers. Even where results indicate, now here they speak about even where results indicated there were evidence of a difference, the reviewers found no sign that these differences would have any noticeable effect on health. Well done. Well done. Very good. Very good. So I see the answers coming. So it's a no-brainer. It's a no-brainer, right? It's A, research into whether organic food is better for us. Research into whether organic food is better for us. So yes, well done. And if you look at the middle of the paragraph, look at some phrases. Yet studies into organic farming worldwide continue to reject the claim. An extensive review by the UK Food Standards Agency You see, so this approach is really important. Guys, believe me, if you read the whole passage word by word, if you read the whole paragraph word by word, that approach is not going to be effective. So well done. So you see, gradually, we are moving towards the right direction. You guys minimize the number of mistakes. That's the correct approach. Now, let's be honest. If this is your first experience or this approach is new for you, can you tell me that, yes, this is the first time I'm learning this approach? Could you please type? Maybe you had a different approach with matching headings. So if this is new for you, please type. I would appreciate your feedback. And I'm very sure, guys, if you practice properly, and if you go back to the practice test papers, this approach would work 100%. There can be some challenging paragraphs, but if you keep on practicing, you will never go wrong. And I'll show you our students' results, and that would also be a proving factor. So that's how you need to work on. So once again, remember, you read the first and the last sentence, get a general idea about the paragraph, go through the headings. Now, there could be 2 headings suitable. Maybe there could be 3 headings suitable. It's fine. That's how it's going to be. But pay attention to keywords. If you pay attention to keywords, and if you can find synonyms, expressions in the middle of the paragraph, then you will never go wrong. You will never go wrong. So have that kind of mindset. It will be easier for you to achieve a good score. Now, guys, we have learned skimming. Now, the next one, what we're going to focus on is identifying keywords. Identifying keywords. Now, never take this for granted, because what I'm going to teach you now would be useful not just for reading, but also for listening and even when you're writing an essay. So what are keywords? Keywords are like, words which are important for us to understand the question better. So that means in a sentence, when you read a sentence, when you read a question, when you read a statement, identify these words and numbers. For example, when numbers, adjectives, adverbs, ordinal numbers, verbs, and the subject. Okay. So when you read a question, identify adjectives, adverbs, ordinal numbers, verbs, and subject. So of course, you don't have to underline the article, the, prepositions, on, in, right, to. You don't underline those. But pay attention to these keywords. And the main idea is to understand the statement better, or to understand the question better. So that's why you pay attention to keywords. Now, here are some examples. Look, A, when was the first program released? Now, pay attention to that question. When? The first program released. So when you read the text, it will be easier for you to find that information. You're looking for a date, aren't you? You're looking for a date of the first program's release. So release, guys, is a verb. So definitely you need to pay attention to synonyms, because you can't, you won't find the word release. They might use a synonym. Can someone type the synonym of release? What is the synonym of release? When was the first program released? What is the synonym of release? Can you type? So I'll get back to that a bit later. So where is the biggest building located? Now, biggest is the superlative, like the tallest, biggest, smallest. So you see, when you read, you'll be looking for the location of the largest building. You see, so where is the biggest building located? So when you read questions, read it carefully. And to do that, pay attention to keywords. How often do they meet in the city center? So you need to look for city center in the text and understand how often, how frequent they meet. Which members society benefited most from the healthy lifestyles approach? So which members society benefited most? You see, so you pay attention to these keywords, that would be useful. During which decade were lifestyle risks seen as the major contributors to poor health? So during which decade? So we need to look for that decade. But what exactly? Lifestyle risks seen as the major contributors to poor health. So that's why, guys, if you pay attention to keywords, and it's a very important skill, if you pay attention to keywords, you'll be able to locate the answer. And also, when there are adjectives, adverbs and verbs, think about synonyms. Now, coming back to the first question, when was the first program released? I see different options. When was it issued? Yes, but also we can say when was it launched? Now, the word launch, if somebody typed launch, well done. So when was it launched? When is the launch? Right? To launch, launched, right? You can use that verb as well. So well done, very good. So depending on the context, we might use publish, but launch would be the best option. Launch would be the best option. So once again, keywords are, so whenever you read a statement, identify keywords like adjectives, adverbs, verbs, and the subject. Okay, so that's how it works. Now, guys, the third important skill is paraphrasing. Paraphrasing is an important skill. In fact, IELTS is all about paraphrasing. In IELTS reading, being skilled at rephrasing is crucial. It demonstrates your understanding of the text, and doing it effectively can enhance your score by proving your ability to comprehend the rephrased sentences with the passage. So, for example, changing the word order in a sentence, replacing certain words with synonyms, and changing the word form. Now, this skill will be important. This skill will be important not just for reading, but also for listening, speaking, and writing. Okay, so all these things would be crucial. So that's why you can make sure that the meaning stays the same, but you present it in different ways. For example, replacing certain words with synonyms, changing the word order in a sentence, or for example, changing the word form. Now, it's a very important skill, guys. We will do a task based on that. Then scanning. Now, scanning, guys, is like looking for specific information, looking for names, looking for dates, looking for centuries. Now, for this, guys, I'm pretty sure everyone would agree. To do that, you don't have to read the whole passage from the beginning till the end. You just scan, you look for names, you look for numbers, right? So that is called scanning, okay? So how to scan? Underline the important information while reading the text, like dates, numbers, names, etc. When you read the question, identify the keyword and scan the text for it. So this way you'll find the answer more quickly. So for example, when was the program launched? The first program. So you need to look for a date, but at the same time, you need to look for the first program. So scan for first program. So that is the correct approach. Now, I want you all to kind of implement this with this task, okay? Look at the question. It says, how long did William Alexander spend learning French? So how long did William Alexander spend learning French? Now, I want you to look for the answer. We are looking for a duration, right? We are looking for a duration, like how many years did he spend, or how much time did he spend on learning French? Now, guys, scan for William Alexander and French. Don't read the whole paragraph. Look for French, William Alexander, scan for it, and can you tell me the answer? You don't have to read the whole paragraph. Just look for William Alexander and learning French. And what is the answer? Don't rush. Okay, so how long did William Alexander spend learning French? How many years? So once you find French and Alexander, once you find French and William Alexander, read only those sentences carefully. Once you find French and William Alexander, read only those sentences carefully. Read only those sentences carefully. So that's important, guys. So I see the answers coming. Now, those who mentioned, look at the question. Now, those who are just writing the answer 3-year-old, you're not reading, understand the question. The question is, How long did William Alexander spend learning French? How long? How many years did he learn French? Well done. Well done. So I see the answers coming. 1 year. 1 year is the answer. Yes, 1 year is the answer. Why? It says, I met a French 3-year-old and couldn't hold up my end of the conversation. This, he goes on to say, came after a year of intense study. This came after a year of intense study. So the correct answer is 1 year. Now, those who say three, that's a French, like a 3-year-old, he says, like, I speak French like a 3-year-old. Not that he studied French for 3 years. No. But he says, until I met a French 3-year-old and couldn't hold up my end of the conversation. This, he goes on to say, came after a year of intense study. Now, this is just a paragraph. Now, at the exam, you're going to have a passage where there'll be 5, 6, right, 7 paragraphs. So the thing is, guys, you just need to locate. You don't need to read the whole passage to find an answer for a question. You need to identify keywords like how long spend learning French, William Alexander. And then, guys, you scan the text. You look for the word French, William Alexander. And then you read only those sentences and find the correct answer. So this way, guys, you're going to economize your time. This way, you're going to be extremely efficient. This way, you're going to follow the official guidelines. So today onwards, stop following unproven methods and don't go and just listen to some lectures like we have in Sri Lanka, where many teachers, they say how great they are. They speak about politics. They speak about things which are inappropriate, and you waste your time and your money. And especially in life, guys, once you reach 30, 35, 40, every minute counts in our lives, you see. So invest your time wisely and actually focus on official guidelines. So this is a very important part. So 1 year, guys, actually, if you put 1 year with a hyphen, that should be fine here. So it would be considered as one word, by the way. So 1 year with a hyphen would be considered as one word. So if you say year, like 1 year, that should be fine. So let's move on. Now, guys, anyway, here there is no word limit. But if the word limit is just one word, you just need to be logical there. That's all. Fine. So now let's move on to how to answer true, false, not given. So if you look at IELTS reading, there are different types of questions. So you need to prepare or you need to learn the approach to every question type. So like I said, matching headings, true, false, not given. These are the most popular question types with multiple choice questions. So reading passage, if you look at the practice test, these are the core question types like multiple choice questions, matching headings, true, false, not given. Then we have summary completions. Then we have yes, no, not given, right? So you just need to know how to approach these question types. So that would be very useful. Now we're going to do true, false, not given. So this is how you should follow. These are the steps you should follow. Number one, read the statement carefully and identify the keywords. Paraphrase the statement based on your own words and locate the information based on the keywords in the statement and see if it's true, false, or not given. Okay? So first, guys, you don't read the whole passage. You have to kind of focus on the statement and identify keywords. And based on the keywords, you rephrase, try to understand the statement better. And if there are names, if there are numbers or dates, try to locate the information based on those points, like those words, like names, and then read them carefully. Okay, so I hope you're ready. I hope the task is clear. Here we go. Look at this one. It says, Marie Curie's husband was a joint winner of both Maria's Nobel Prizes. Keywords are Curie's husband, joint winner, both Nobel Prizes. Curie's husband, joint winner. That means they won 2 Nobel Prizes together. Now, don't type your answer, but answer my question, please. Nobel Prize, husband, Can you scan? Where can you find this information? Is it in the first paragraph or in the second paragraph? Nobel Prize, husband. Where can you find this information? Is it in the first paragraph or in the second paragraph? Quickly. Don't read. First, locate the information. Is it in the first paragraph or in the second paragraph? Where can you find husband and Nobel Prize? Is it in the first paragraph or in the second paragraph? Well done. First paragraph. Yes, first paragraph. Okay. Look at the statement. Marie Curie's husband was a joint winner. Did they win 2 Nobel Prizes together? Okay, well done. So guys, can you read? Can you read only those lines where husband and Nobel Prizes are mentioned? Read those sentences carefully. Read every sentence where it mentions about Nobel Prize and husband and tell me whether this statement is true, false, or not given. So yes, it's the first paragraph. So can you tell me whether this statement is true, false, or not given? Did they win 2 Nobel Prizes together? Maybe only 1 Nobel Prize. If that's the case, that's false. Maybe there is no such information. So what is the answer? Is it true? Is the statement true? Is the statement false? Maybe it's not given. So read the lines carefully. Read the lines carefully. Look, here it says, right? Was twice a winner of the Nobel A Prize. With her husband Pierre Curie and Henry, she was awarded the 1903 Nobel Prize for Physics and was then sole winner of the 1911 Nobel Prize for Chemistry. So the statement was Marie Curie's husband was a joint winner of both Maria's Nobel Prize. But the paragraph says that 1903 Nobel Prize, she was the sole winner. Sorry, 1903 prize they won together, but 1911, she was the sole winner. So 1911 Nobel Prize, she was the sole winner, the only winner. So they did not win 2 Nobel Prizes together. They did not win 2 Nobel Prizes together. They only won 1 Nobel Prize with Henry and her husband, the 1903 Nobel Prize. But the 1911 Nobel Prize, she was the sole winner, the only winner. You see? So it's false. The statement is false. Well done. Very good. Those who got it right, well done. So what did we understand here? You pay attention to keywords. You pay attention to keywords. You see, joint winner, both Nobel Prizes. Scan based on names like Nobel Prize husband. Read carefully. And to understand the statement better, say it in your own words, like they won 2 Nobel Prizes together. They were joint winners. So say it in your own words in English. This way, guys, you will understand the statement better. So well done. Very good. Now, I want you all to do the second and the third. Okay? I want you all to do the second and the third statement. Marie became interested in science when she was a child. Marie was able to attend the Sorbonne because of her sister's financial contribution. So start with the first sentence. That means, was Marie passionate about science? Is she interested, passionate? Was she really keen on science when she was a child? Number 3, Marie was able to attend the Sorbonne because of her sister's financial contribution. That means her sister paid for Marie's higher education in Sorbonne. So for the third one, look for Sorbonne and sister. Read every line about sister and Sorbonne. Okay, so don't rush. Take your time. Okay, guys? So remember the options. It's true, false, not given. So I want the answer for the number 2 and also want the answer for number 3. So true, false, not given. So Mari became interested in science when she was a child. Now, guys, you read through, and if you find the answer for the third one, maybe the second one could be, Guys, I want you all to, about number 3, do not rush with number 3. Do not rush with number 3. I want you all to kind of read carefully. Remember, the keywords are Mari was able to attend Sorbonne because of her sister's financial contribution. So Sorbonne, sister's financial contribution. Okay, I see different answers coming. I want you all to kind of be attentive with number 3. Remember that the answer for number 3 is in this last few sentences, in the last few lines from the first paragraph and the first 2 lines from the second paragraph. So read carefully. Pay attention to keywords, right? Mari became interested in science. Was she interested? So when you read, you need to find phrases like, during her childhood, she was keen on science. Anything mentioned about science? Yes or no, not given. Maybe if nothing is mentioned about her interest towards science, it's not given, right? But what about number 3? Okay, number 3, I'm going to read, and I hope those who mentioned false would reconsider. Okay, look, here it says, number 3, guys, from her earnings, right? From her earnings, she was able to finance her sister Bronia's medical studies in Paris on the understanding that Bronia would in turn later help her to get an education. From her earnings, she was able to finance her sister's Bronia's medical studies in Paris on the understanding that Bronia would in turn later help her to get an education. In 1891, this promise was fulfilled, and Mari went to Paris and began to study at the Sorbonne. So in 1891, this promise was fulfilled, and Mari went to Paris and began to study at the Sorbonne University. So that means the promise was fulfilled. There was an agreement. Then Mari would finance her sister's education, and her sister would support her education. Look at the statement once again. It says, Mari was able to attend the Sorbonne because of her sister's financial contribution. So number 3 is true. Number 3 is true, right? Because yes, her sister did support her financially. That was the agreement. The lines mentioned that. For me, like I said, the process is more important. You were supposed to look for the information. It was there. Sorbonne in the second paragraph, sister at the end of the first paragraph. You read those lines carefully and then, get the answer. So those who got it right, well done. Very good. So number 2 is not given, by the way. Number 2 is not given because here it says, from childhood, Mari was remarkable for her prodigious memory, and at the age of 16 won gold medal on completion of secondary education. So nothing about science, nothing about her passion towards science, her strong interest towards science, nothing is mentioned. And also, guys, remember, with true, false, not given, the information given in the same order like the statements. So if you find the first information for the first statement in the first paragraph, you'll find the second in the second paragraph. So that is an important part because you see, you read for the second one about childhood, and if you can't find any information, go for the third statement, and you see already it mentions about her sister's support. So definitely the second one is not given. So these are like some advanced techniques. I don't want to confuse you all today that we teach our students. So this way, you'll be focused. So once again, guys, what did we learn with reading? There are 4 essential skills. Skimming, to read quickly. And to do that, you read the first and the last sentence, depending on the question type. Scanning, to look for specific information. So these are very important skills. Then when you read questions, you need to identify keywords. And the other point, guys, is paraphrasing. So if you're in the process of preparing, if you're looking for programs, my only question, my humble request is that when you are going to sign up for a course, ask them, what are the 4 essential skills for reading? If they can give you a confident answer, go and spend your money. If they can't, they're never going to teach you properly. I can guarantee that, you see. So the 4 essential skills are very important. So skimming, scanning, identifying keywords, and paraphrasing. So depending on these skills, that's how question types are created. Multiple choice questions, you need to read every question, and you need to also pay attention to the options and rephrase them. You see, summary completions, you need to predict the missing word, but also you need to kind of pay attention to some keywords. So depending on the question types, you will have to implement maybe 2, maybe 3, maybe all 4 skills. But these skills are crucial if you want to answer all these question types. So guys, that's it about reading. I've just done a fraction of what you should know, but the main goal was for you all to understand the 4 essential skills. You see, to understand the 4 essential skills. So master the essential skills, learn the approach to each question, and focus on exam practice questions. Now, we have 2 programs where students have prepared effectively and achieved a very high score. One is our expert course, which is for 12 weeks. And during the first stage, each lesson is dedicated to a question type. So we kind of teach students the 4 essential skills, and each lesson is dedicated to a question type. Now, those who are interested in our programs, if you would like to have a free consultation, I would ask you all to sign up for a free consultation at the end of our session with one of our consultants who would assess your level, and also would kind of, give you detailed feedback. So actually, guys, it's a very nice opportunity for you all to understand how to prepare effectively. So click to register. So the link is given below. Click to register for a free consultation. Take the grammar test. And I'm pretty sure, guys, you will find it useful. So our consultant would assess your level, would understand what you should do, and would also say what kind of program would be useful. So during our expert program, I'll explain later, we have 2 stages. Stage 1, 5 weeks. And during the first 5 weeks, each lesson is dedicated to a question type, and you'll be mastering the essential skills. And not only that, guys, you'll be working on the platform. So apart from my lessons, you'll also have my video lessons on the platform. You'll be doing interactive tasks. So it's a great program, but I'll explain that a bit later. But those who are interested, guys, we have limited seats for free consultation. So sign up for a free consultation now. Just click to register, leave your details, your name, your phone number, and your email address, okay? So guys, that being said, let's move on to writing, because I'm pretty sure you would like to know about writing. Now, the writing part, you need to listen to me carefully. I'm going to share some important points, because quite often students, when they write essays, maybe they focus a lot on vocabulary, grammar, which is good. I mean, these are important things. But the point is, they fail to structure their paragraphs properly. They fail to develop their ideas accordingly. I had a lady who had taken the IELTS exam 17 times from Eastern Europe. So she is from Russia. So I had to work with her. It was in 2014. And she wanted to move to Ireland because her husband is from Ireland. And, the biggest issue was not vocabulary, not because she was weak. By the way, she's a doctor. The point was she just didn't know how to structure her ideas. So quite often students struggle with writing because they poorly develop their ideas, and that's what we're going to learn today. So here are things that you need to know. Those who are preparing for IELTS, maybe you're new, maybe you have no clue about IELTS writings. I would like you all to know that in writing, there are 2 parts, part 1 and part 2. For first task, it should be 150 words. And for task 2, it should be 250 words. And also remember, guys, that you should spend 20 minutes on task 1 and 40 minutes on task 2, okay? So don't spend too much time on task 1 because you won't have enough time for task 2. And I don't have the time management formula, but remember, when you prepare for task 1, spend 5 minutes on planning, okay? And then spend 10 to 12 minutes on writing, and then at least 3 minutes on checking your task 1 description. And for task 2, spend 10 minutes on planning. And usually we teach our students what they should do. Spend 10 minutes on planning, spend 20 minutes on writing, and 5 minutes on checking. So 10 minutes on planning, 20 minutes on drafting, and 5 minutes on checking. If you spend 10 minutes effectively on your planning, you will write a very good essay within 20 minutes. So don't doubt that. So you just need to spend your time wisely, and I'm pretty sure you can achieve a very good score. So here are key points you should know about writing task 2, more key points. Task 1, requirements: summarize, describe, or explain visual information. So if you're taking academic IELTS, you need to describe graphs, bar charts, pie charts, maps, and diagrams. If you're taking general IELTS, you'll have to write letters, like formal, semi-formal, and informal letters. And then, guys, you need to write essays for task 2. So there are different types of essays: opinion, discussion, 2-question essays, and problem solution essays. Okay, so there are 4 types that you need to know: opinion, discussion, problem solution, and then, of course, we have 2-question essays. So these are the key points you need to know. Okay, so that's about IELTS writing 2. So the question types for task 2, once again, the question types for task 2 are the same like for general. So academic IELTS and general IELTS, only the task 1 differs, but the question types, not the topics, the question types are the same: opinion essays, discussion essays, problem solution essays, and then we also have 2-question essays. So you need to know how to structure your paragraphs. So today, guys, I'm going to share the overall structure: how to write an introduction, how to write supporting paragraphs, and how to write a conclusion. So I'm pretty sure you will find it useful. Now, before I start, I would like to know whether you have an idea about writing essays. So I would like to check your knowledge. So if you don't mind, can you participate in this questionnaire? So here are 4 statements, okay? Can you tell me whether these statements are true? So I want you all to read A, B, C, and D and tell me whether it's true or whether it's false, okay? A, it says, your essay should have a minimum of 4 clearly defined paragraphs, an introduction, 2 supporting paragraphs, and a conclusion. True or false? Each supporting paragraph should not focus on a single clear argument and be developed with relevant reasons and examples. True, false, or not given. C, in your conclusion, restate the main points. And D, the introduction should serve as the roadmap to your essay, indicating what the reader can expect. So I want everyone to see whether these statements are true. So please type your answers. A, type true or false. B, type true or false. C, type true or false. D, type true or false. Now, okay, so I see that some of y'all are knowledgeable, some of y'all are, well done. Now, some of y'all are aware of the key points, and I'm very happy. And some of y'all, I see, are a bit lost. Well done. Very good. Those who got it right, well done. That's a good start because, you need to know what the examiner is looking for. So your essay should have a minimum of 4 clearly defined paragraphs, an introduction, 2 supporting paragraphs, and a conclusion. Well done. An introduction, 2 supporting paragraphs, and a conclusion. Minimum 4 paragraphs. The examiner would look for that. So it's called coherence and cohesion. So coherence means logically organizing your ideas. And one of the ways is to define your paragraphs properly, like introduction, 2 supporting paragraphs, and a conclusion. Well done. B, each supporting paragraph should not focus on a single clear argument and be developed with relevant reasons and example. This is not true. Each paragraph should have one clear argument. One clear argument. So this is false. C, in your conclusion, restate the main points. Yes, it's true. D, the introduction should serve as the roadmap to your essay, indicating what the reader can expect. Yes, guys, your introduction should have a clear idea. The examiner would like to see whether your introduction would reflect the whole essay, whether it would reflect the whole essay. So D is true. So true, false, true, true. Well done. Very good. The next point, guys, when you read an essay, try to identify 3 components. When you read an essay, try to identify 3 components. Look at the essay question here. It says public transport is widely used in many large cities around the world. Discuss the advantages and disadvantages of public transport in big cities. Use specific examples and details to support your argument. So here, guys, the topic is public transport. The topic is public transport. The viewpoint is public transport is a common commuting method in big cities worldwide. So the viewpoint is the statement of the question. For example, it says public transport is widely used in many large cities around the world. So that is the viewpoint. That is the viewpoint of the question. Try to identify that. Question, discuss the advantages and disadvantages of public transport in big cities. Discuss the advantages and disadvantages of public transport in big cities. So whenever you read essay questions, we kind of train our students to identify 3 components. The first one is the topic. Now, in this essay question, it's about public transport. The viewpoint, public transport is a common commuting method in big cities worldwide. And the task, discuss the advantages and disadvantages of public transport in big cities. So the thing is, guys, when you read and understand the topic, that would help you to think about vocabulary related to public transport and also some key points. When you look at the viewpoint, that would be important for you to brainstorm ideas because public transport is a common commuting method in big cities worldwide. So what are the advantages and disadvantages? So once you're able to segregate these components, you'll be able to brainstorm ideas, think about vocabulary, and also you will understand the task better. You will understand the task better. So that's how you need to kind of work on this, okay? So every question type, it doesn't matter which essay type it is, whenever you read an essay question, try to identify the topic, the viewpoint, and the question, okay? So that is important. Now, when you write an introduction, because we know that there should be 4 paragraphs, the first one would be the introduction, the second and the third would be our supporting paragraphs. The fourth one would be the conclusion. So when you write an introduction, do not make it too long with examples, with many reasons. It should look like a roadmap. So that's why, guys, based on the topic, the viewpoint, and the question, you can write your introduction the following way. So look at the introduction. It says your introduction should act as a roadmap for your essay, outlining its structure. We recommend following these components when writing an introduction. First one is the background sentence. Public transport is a key commuting method in many major cities worldwide. Detailed background sentence. It plays a vital role in transporting residents through large urban areas using a wide range of buses, subways, and other forms of transit. So once you identify the topic of the question, write something about that. The public transport is a key commuting method in many major cities worldwide. And then, guys, detailed background sentence. For the detailed background sentence, you can rephrase the statement of the question, the viewpoint. Rephrase the viewpoint. Then, guys, for the thesis statement, here it mentions that, discuss the advantages and disadvantages. You can mention that in a very detailed manner. Like, although public transport is appreciated for its affordability and convenience, it also deals with issues like overcrowding and variable service quality. You see, the task was discuss the advantages and disadvantages. So, in your thesis statement, mention the advantages and the disadvantages. Then let there be an outline sentence. Show the examiner the purpose of your essay. Like, this essay will examine the advantages and disadvantages of public transport in large cities, providing examples and reason arguments to support the discussion. So here, guys, you kind of mention the purpose of your essay. This essay will examine the advantages and disadvantages of public transport in large cities, providing examples and reason arguments to support the discussion. So this is how you should write an introduction. First, the topic would be like the background sentence. Let's say school education. You can say school education is an integral part for every individual, right? So something about the topic. Detailed background sentence can always be the viewpoint from the question. Rephrase it. The thesis statement, depending on the question type. Here, discussing the advantages and disadvantages. If it's an opinion essay, you give your opinion with reasons. And then the outline sentence, you can always mention this essay aims to develop my viewpoint with relevant reasons. You see, so that's how you should write an discussion essay. Or that's how you should write an essay following these key points. So what we do during our programs, we just don't make students write essays. We first help them to write an introduction. We teach them how to develop their supporting paragraphs, and we teach them how to write conclusions. So that is how you should work on, guys, because you can't write an essay without learning the key points. So this is how the whole introduction would look like. So public transport is a key commuting method in many major cities worldwide. It plays a vital role in transporting residents through large urban areas using a wide range of buses, subways, and other forms of transit. All the public transport is appreciated for its affordability and convenience. It also deals with issues like overcrowding and variable service quality. This essay will examine the advantages and disadvantages of public transport in large cities, providing examples and reason arguments to support the discussion. You see, so that's how you need to develop your paragraph for introduction. That's how your introduction should look like. So now with that, guys, you need to develop supporting paragraphs. So one supporting paragraph with advantages, another supporting paragraph with disadvantages. Okay? So first supporting paragraph, focus on advantages. Like, start with a clear topic sentence about the first advantage. Provide reasons and a specific example. Introduce and elaborate on the second advantage with reasons and examples. Conclude the paragraph, in a very summarized manner. Then the second supporting paragraph, begin with a clear topic sentence about the first disadvantage. Discuss reasons and provide examples. Mention the second disadvantage with reasons and examples. Conclude the paragraph. Okay, so those are things you should focus on. So I see a point like, whether the intro is too wordy. No, it's not. Now, that's another point we have, right? Because sometimes you may watch YouTube videos. Some people say that the introduction should be like this and that. We are referring to the official guidelines. What exactly the examiner would look for. So here it's not about wordy or too wordy. Your word limit should be between 250 and 280 words. Because officially, nowhere it's written that, it should be only 2 sentences or 3 sentences. So please don't fall for that. Because those who struggle with IELTS, they just focus on things which are not important. They focus on ridiculous things and they just fail to achieve their required score. What I'm showing you is the official guideline, proven method, and what the examiner would look for. And coming back to the supporting paragraphs, guys, remember that each paragraph should have a clear topic sentence. That topic sentence should reflect your supporting paragraph. Okay, so that's something that you all should keep in mind. So look at the first supporting paragraph. So I'm just showing you some points. Like, so the first supporting paragraph, should have advantages. Okay, so here, guys, among the numerous advantages of public transport, cost effectiveness stands out prominently. Okay, so that's the first supporting paragraph. So you say, among the numerous advantages of public transport, cost effectiveness stands out prominently. It is considerably more affordable than maintaining a private vehicle. Then give an example. For example, a study in Berlin showed that individuals could reduce their commuting cost by up to 10 times by opting for public transport over personal car ownership. So every point should be elaborated with reasons and then with an example. Then the second advantage. Furthermore, public transport often proves to be most practical means of commuting, especially during rush hours. Taking the subway, for instance, frequently emerges as the quickest way to reach one's destination punctually. Then, guys, have a nice concluding sentence. These factors contribute to the widespread preference for public transport in many large cities. Okay? So, once again, guys, you come up with two advantages because it's asking for advantages and disadvantages, right? So, come up with your first advantage and explain it. Then give an example to prove your point, and that is important. Now, that is clearly mentioned if you look at the band descriptors. So you can't argue with that. Then the second advantage, example with explanation, and then a concluding sentence. Now, the concluding sentence should kind of summarize those points. Like, these factors contribute to the widespread preference for public transport in many large cities. So that's a key point. If you can do that, that would increase your score for coherence. So the whole paragraph would look like this. Among the numerous advantages of public transport, cost effectiveness stands out prominently. So make sure that your first sentence, your topic sentence, is simple and clear. So because it has to have a clear idea and it should not be too long. It is considerably more affordable than maintaining private vehicle. For example, a study in Berlin showed that individuals could reduce their commuting costs by up to 10 times by opting for public transport over personal car ownership. You see, so with reason and example. Then, furthermore, public transport often proves to be the most practical means of commuting, especially during rush hours. Then you prove that with an example and explanation. These factors contribute to the widespread preference for public transport in many large cities. So when you structure your paragraphs, before you write your essay, think about the advantages, think about the reasons, think about examples. So when you brainstorm, you should ask questions like, what are the advantages? Why is it an advantage? Now, when you say, why is it an advantage? That is the explanation. What is the example? Think of some examples, right? And then think about what is the obvious advantage. Now, that will be your first advantage. What is the next advantage? That will be your second advantage. Like, furthermore, another benefit, right? So then you would use linkers or organizing phrases to connect your ideas. If you can structure paragraphs like this, if you can develop your ideas like this, you will definitely achieve a minimum 7.5. And from there onwards, you can use more complex structures, more advanced vocabulary. So focus on the frame, the structure, because once the structure is strong, you can develop your essays and, move on towards a very high score. Quite often, students focus on the complex structures and vocabulary, and that's not going to be very helpful. Then let's come to the second supporting paragraph. You see, topic sentence. Despite its many benefits, public transport in large cities is not without its challenges, notably overcrowding and reliability issues. Explanation with an example. Commuters often face cramped conditions during peak hours, which compromises comfort and raise health and safety concerns. This scenario is evident in metros like Tokyo and New York, where packed vehicles are a common sight. Second is, moreover, the reliability of public transport systems frequently falls short of expectations. Delays, cancellations, and erratic schedules, often worsened by weather, and maintenance issues significantly disrupt passengers, eroding their trust in these services. These combined factors, overcrowding and unpredictability, underscore the urgent need for improvements in public transport to maintain its appeal and viable commuting option. So here, guys, what is important is to understand that you come up with your disadvantages, but the topic sentence, now here the topic sentence is a bit different, right? We have mentioned, despite its many benefits, public transport in large cities is not without its challenges, notably overcrowding and reliability issues. So those are the disadvantages. So when the examiner reads your paragraph, your second supporting paragraph, he would like to see whether you have mentioned these points with proper explanation and examples. So keep that in mind. I'm not saying I'm expecting you all to write like this after this session. My main aim today is to show you all what the examiner really looks for. Because if you're writing your essays and if you fail to give examples, fail to give reasons for your points, fail to sequence your ideas logically, you can never achieve more than 5.5 or maximum 6. Then, of course, guys, you need to use complex structures. You need to be accurate with articles and punctuation, but that we will discuss on another day. So the second supporting paragraph would look like this. So I'm not going to read it again. I've already mentioned it. So that's how you need to focus on your second supporting paragraph. Fine. So you see, guys, every paragraph, we have a nice topic sentence, and look at the conclusion. Like, these combined factors, overcrowding and unpredictability, highlight the pressing need for improvements in public transportation to maintain its appeal as a viable commuting option. Okay, so that conclusion would be important. Then when you write the conclusion, restate the points. Like, in conclusion, public transport offers significant benefits as an affordable and practical means for navigating cities, especially during busy times. Yet, its full potential is hindered by concerns related to space constraints and reliability. Overcoming these obstacles could elevate its appeal, leading to wider adoption among urban populations in the years ahead. You see, now in our conclusion, what did we do? In conclusion, public transport offers significant benefits as an affordable and practical means for navigating cities, especially during busy times. So those are the advantages, and those advantages are mentioned in one clause. Yet, its full potential is hindered by concerns related to space constraints, because, it gets jam-packed, and reliability, because sometimes you can't rely on public transport. They could go on a strike. There could be some issues, technical issues. So those are the two disadvantages. So you have to summarize your main points. Overcoming these obstacles could elevate its appeal, leading to wider adoption among urban populations in the years ahead. So once again, guys, you write an introduction. Before you write the introduction, read the essay question and identify the topic, the viewpoint, and the question. Then, based on that, you write an introduction. So your introduction should have a background sentence which would say something about the topic, detailed background sentence rephrasing the viewpoint, the thesis depending on the question type. If it's an opinion essay, you would mention the opinion. If it's a discussion essay, you mention the two viewpoints. And for the outline sentence, you would mention why you're writing this essay. In your first supporting paragraph here, because we discussed the advantages and disadvantages, you mention the advantages. But for every advantage, you need to mention the reason why it is an advantage and prove that with an example and sequence them. When you mention these disadvantages, mention the disadvantages with proper explanation with examples, right? So sequence your ideas accordingly. And for every paragraph at the end, have a nice conclusion that would give a nice impression for your writing. And when you write your conclusion, restate the main points. To summarize, that's the idea of a conclusion. You summarize the key points, you see? And then, guys, you have to kind of, give some recommendations or mention your opinion. That would be fine as well. Okay? So Based on this, guys, I have shown you how you should structure your paragraphs. And with that said, we're going to move on to some key points when it comes to writing. So the thing is, guys, when it comes to IELTS writing, of course, you need to improve your grammar skills. You need to make your writing style formal. And those things we will also teach during our course programs. So I've already summarized these points. I've already mentioned how you should structure. So now I would like to share some misconceptions. So if you join my session today, especially with reading and writing, reading, guys, you saw that almost everyone could answer correctly. That's a great achievement. That means you have understood the approach. And I took questions from the official IELTS question papers. And that's a very important thing too. If you're doing practice tests, do not just do practice tests online. Do not visit some YouTubers who are claiming themselves to be professional IELTS trainers. Even I have bought some of their programs, and I must say that it's really disappointing. So if you think that what they teach, I don't want to mention name, there is a guy who speaks about reading. He mentions it like a racing car. Those approaches are disastrous. So if you have like an extremely good level, maybe it might work, but just follow the official guidelines. So what I want to say is that the exam is not difficult if you follow an effective method. So you can achieve a high score in your first attempt. So that's something that you all should believe in. So nothing is impossible when you focus on the possible, and focusing on the possible is great, believe me. Then the next one, guys, you need to be extremely fluent to achieve a band 7 and higher. What I'm trying to say here is that I've had students who had weak grammar. They were weak when they spoke, especially with grammar. They couldn't pronounce words properly. So don't have that mindset. So the most important here, guys, is that you need to focus on learning the essential skills. When it comes to grammar, we have a special grammar program in our courses. It's included in our expert course, and with our express course, we include it in the platform. So we do teach our students how to use tenses, how to use conditionals, how to use complex structures, how to use linkers, then also how to use comparative structures, because these things are going to be very crucial if you want to achieve a very high score. Then the third misconception is that you need to prepare for more than 1 year. Please don't fall for that. Usually our students, they achieve band 7 and higher within 3 months. And if you have like a B2, C1 level, like an advanced level, then even the express program, which is for 5 weeks, would be useful. So I will explain about the programs, guys. But what I want you all to understand is that this is the roadmap. For listening and reading, doesn't matter how you prepare, whether you prepare by yourself, whether you prepare with a tutor, whether you attend another group class, you need to master the 4 essential skills. That is a fact. Then learn the approach to each question type. That is important. Then the third one is focus on practicing with tests. So first, guys, learn the 4 essential skills, then learn the approach to every question type, and then focus on practice tests. So that's important. Writing, guys, improve your grammar skills, become familiar with different types of sentences, learn how to make your writing style formal, learn to use linkers effectively, learn how to structure paragraphs, become familiar with different types of essays, and expand your vocabulary. So when it comes to writing, guys, before writing essays, you need to improve your grammar skills. You need to become familiar with different types of sentences, because in English, we have simple sentences, compound sentences, and complex sentences. So for example, when you structure your paragraph, always start your first sentence with a simple, clear sentence, because it should have the main idea stated clearly. Then the whole paragraph should reflect that main topic sentence. Then learn how to make your writing style formal, because when you write essays, you can't use contractions like people don't have time. It should be the lack of time. Then learn how to use linkers effectively, and then actually learn how to structure paragraphs, become familiar with different types of essays, and expand your vocabulary. And for writing, especially if you're taking academic IELTS, you need to know how to write comparative graphs, graphs with trends, maps, and processes. And for general writing, you need to know how to write formal letters, semi-formal letters, and informal letters. So for speaking, guys, before you focus on exam questions, learn how to paraphrase. Because if the examiner asks, do you like to read? You can't say, yes, I like to read. How often do you go to the cinema? You can't say, I go to the cinema very often. Do not speak like that. So, do you like to read? You know, I do. I've always been a huge fan of reading, you see. Or, for example, how often do you go to the cinema? Well, in the past, I used to go to the cinema rather often, whereas now, because of my busy schedule, maybe once a month. So learn to develop your answers and learn to show variety. These things would be very important. So that's why, based on our experience being an official testing center, working with examiners, and also we have ex-examiners, we have the most effective preparation program called the IELTS Expert Course. So the Expert Course has two stages. Stage 1, Foundations and Essential Skills. Stage 2, Practice and Flexibility. So during stage 1, what do we do? For listening and reading during the first stage, each lesson is dedicated to a question type. You see? So for example, for listening and reading, guys, for reading, we teach students how to match headings, how to answer true, false, not given, how to answer multiple choice questions, how to complete a summary, how to find information from the paragraph, how to answer classifying questions. So every lesson is dedicated to question types, and for listening, it's the same. So here, guys, during stage 1, we teach students the essential skills and the approach to every question type. For writing, we teach them all the essential writing skills, how to structure paragraphs, how to make their writing style formal, how to use complex structures, how to use linkers effectively, how to paraphrase skillfully, and how to become familiar with different types of essays. Speaking, guys, we focus on grammar. So we teach them how to paraphrase, how to use idioms, because that's important. You can't achieve a 7 if you don't use idiomatic expressions and phrasal verbs, how to become familiar with tenses, and how to use conditionals properly. So that's the main aim of the first stage. So the main aim for 5 weeks is to kind of teach you all the essential skills, improve your grammar skills, expand your vocabulary, and when you improve yourself to a certain level, your preparation is going to be effective. I'm pretty sure you're going to agree with that. So that's why we have 2 stages. And then during stage 2, we focus on practice questions. So for listening and reading, we focus on practice papers, and directly we ask you to revise the approaches, the skills that you have learned. For writing, we will teach you the approach to every essay type, reason, solution, opinion, then actually 2 questions, and then discussion essays. And then we divide the groups. Academics, we will teach you how to describe graphs, bar charts, pie charts, maps, and diagrams. For generals, we will teach you how to write letters, formal, semi-formal, and informal. For speaking, guys, each lesson, it's going to be for 5 weeks, is dedicated to a topic. And then you will know already how you should approach those questions, like how to develop your answers. So these things would be very effective. So it's a comprehensive preparation if you're aiming for a very high score. So it's going to be for 12 weeks, because after that 11th week, you'll be taking the mock exam. So it's included. And during the 12th week, we will support you additionally, like extra sessions, individual consultation. Maybe, for example, you might need more speaking practice. To include more speaking sessions would be done based on your performance after the mock exam. The other thing, guys, is that you'll also have access to our platform. So on a weekly basis, you'll be watching my recorded video lessons, some interactive lessons, and also you'll be discussing your questions with me and also with my team. So it's going to be for 6 months. There will be 262 interactive lessons on the platform. So you'll be following a guide and you'll be doing tasks on the platform as well. So the course is more effective than anything that you can get in Sri Lanka for sure, based on my research. But the point is, guys, you're paying for something that is going to be very effective and proven. So the course price is going to be on a special discount. So usually it's 38,000, but now it's going to be 31,000 rupees. So this is actually for the whole course. Remember, 2 stages. Lessons are conducted 3 times a week once a week listening and reading, once a week writing, once a week speaking. And the point, guys, you need to understand, compared to other Sri Lankan courses, you'll be having international trainers. So you're going to have European teachers, native speakers, and qualified experts. So you're paying for something that is really good. And we are the first organization in Sri Lanka where we are providing foreign experts, certified experts to prepare you all. So it's a unique thing. And I think we are very proud of that, to be honest, because quite often what happens is that, Sri Lankan professionals are exploited to teach the foreigners and they are paid pennies, but we are paying the European teachers high salaries to teach our Sri Lankan students, and we're offering the best price for the service that we provide. So I think it's a great value for money. So you can pay in installments. So maybe you can have a 1 month installment plan. Now that you can discuss with our consultants. So for example, you can pay 50% and enroll. And after that, within a period of time, you can make the next installment. So all these things you can discuss with our consultants. Then we also have the Express program. Now, do we have students who have like a C1, B2 level, like upper intermediate, advanced? And if you're using English on a regular basis, if you have studied in English, if you have already taken IELTS, I would highly recommend the Express program. So the difference between the Expert and the Express is, Express, guys, we don't focus on a question type during our lessons for listening and reading. We focus on the exam format, and we will teach you how you should approach different question types. So each lesson would be dedicated to 2 to 3 question types. So it's a bit intense, but if you have a good level, I'm pretty sure the Express program would be useful. Now, when you look at writing, the difference between the Expert and the Express, Expert, during stage 1, we teach you all the essential skills: how to structure sentences, how to structure paragraphs, how to use linkers. But with the Express program, we don't do that. Each lesson is dedicated to an essay type, like reason solution, discussion, 2-question essays, and then, for example, opinion essays. And then we have 2 lessons for task 1 writing. And for generals, we have 2 lessons for task 1 general writing. So here we don't focus much on the grammar part. So we focus on the exam format and teach you all the essential skills. Speaking, the same. So we don't have a lesson especially for conditionals, complex structures, but each lesson is dedicated to the speaking part, like part 1 speaking, part 2, and part 3. Then the Express, guys, is also on a special discount. So it's going to be 21,000 rupees. So remember, the Express is going to be for 5 weeks. Lessons are conducted 3 times a week, and the platform is included. The mock exam is included as well. So you'll be preparing for 6 weeks. So 5 weeks of preparation. 6th week would be the mock exam. And based on your performance, if needed, we might also support you additionally free of charge. But believe me, the Express would be useful only if you have a good level. So that's why, guys, sign up for a free consultation and understand your level, take the grammar test, and see where you stand and what program would be useful. So next week, we're starting 2 groups for Expert. This is the schedule: Monday, Wednesday, Saturday. So on Mondays, we're going to have listening and reading. Wednesday, you're going to have speaking, and Saturdays, you'll be having writing. So the first lesson starts next Wednesday, Group A. Lessons are conducted from 8:30 to 10 p.m. Then we have another group, Tuesday, Thursday, Saturday. Tuesdays, listening and reading. Thursday, speaking. And Saturdays, writing. So the first group will be started for Group B. The first lesson, will be next Thursday. Then, guys, we also starting our Express course next week: Monday, Wednesday, Friday. Monday, listening and reading. Wednesday, speaking. And Friday, we have writing. Monday's writing, Wednesday speaking, and Fridays listening and reading. So the first lesson would be next Wednesday. So we start groups on time. Nothing is postponed. So if you're interested, guys, you can enroll. Like I said, the specialty about Masterize Online, which we are emphasizing a lot, is actually our international team. So we have certified IELTS experts. So with me, you will have Tahmuraz is actually a PhD holder in linguistics and he's TEFL certified. So he'll be conducting the writing sessions for y'all. And also during stage 2 of speaking, he'll be your teacher. We have Diana, who's certified. She'll be helping y'all with listening and reading. We have Olga, who is actually CELTA certified. So these are international experts. So you'll be preparing with international teachers during the program. Then also, guys, we have Alexander, all the way from the UK, Alex, who is also TEFL certified, and Yana, who will be your personal trainer. So she'll be also working with you on the platform. She'll be providing her feedback on your speaking recordings. She'll be checking your essays. And also we have 2 examiners who will be working with us. So students have performed phenomenally well. I would like to share some results. Hansika, who achieved an 8 after our expert course. Abdul Ozal, who achieved a band 8 after our express program. Dr. Abdul is actually, I think, is a surgeon. So he is planning to move to the UK. Gayatri achieved a band 8 after our express course. So you see, the techniques I taught today is proven to be very effective because students have 9 for reading, 8.5 for reading, and 9 for reading. And as you can see, even for listening, we have 7.5, 8.5, 8.5. So these are students who prepared with us. We will share the video with Dr. Abdul. We also have a video with Hansika, their feedback, like I interviewed them after their session. So you can go through that as well. So we also have feedback from Gayatri after our express program. Guys, the thing is, the biggest problem in Sri Lanka, because even when I was in Sri Lanka, I met the director of IDP, Mr. Amal, and he told me that the biggest problem in Sri Lanka is that, they don't have quality preparation, number 1. Number 2, quite often, students end up taking the exam many times. And he told me, Nash, you won't believe, we have so many retakers. And when I heard that, I was shocked. In Eastern Europe, for example, where we prepare our students also, because we have European students, we have students from Dubai, we don't see that trend. Because quite often students, either they are disorganized, maybe they don't know what they do, and also, to be honest, sometimes a bit irresponsible, and also there are teachers who are just focusing on the wrong things. So it's high time that you need to understand the exact score you need and prepare effectively. That's a very important thing, guys, because you see, when you keep on retaking the exam, it's not just about the money that's also there. It's not about the time. It will frustrate you. I've seen people who are falling for the wrong information, and once it becomes chronic, where they keep on taking the exam over and over, they give up. So don't fall for that, because that's really going to be dangerous. So these are the results, guys. These are the reviews that we have. So now I'm ready to take some questions. Do you have questions related to IELTS? Anything related to IELTS, something that you would like to know, and also something that you would like to know about our programs? Mm-hmm. So remember, guys, we are starting 2 groups next week. So we are looking forward to teaching y'all. So remember the free option, signing up for a free consultation, taking the grammar test. That would be important as well to understand where you stand at the moment. And then, what kind of preparation would be effective. And also, we'll be providing detailed feedback on your performance, how you should improve your grammar skills, what you should do. So we have a great team, and I'm pretty sure that feedback would be useful for you all. So there's a question about the marking scheme. So what to say, the marking scheme. So for writing, there are 4 criteria: task response, coherence and cohesion, grammar and vocabulary. So you need to kind of, develop your answers accordingly. But for general and academic, no, there is no difference. There is no difference. Any more questions, guys? Okay. Maybe you all want to know about the paper-based and the computer-based. Let me mention that nowadays, guys, the computer-based is becoming really popular. Now, even in Sri Lanka, you can just repeat a section if necessary. So you can repeat a section if necessary. So that would also be an ideal option. So that is allowed only with the computer-based, the computer format. So that's something that you all should know. So you can only take it with the computer format. So it's becoming very popular. In fact, it is cheaper than the paper-based. And I would highly recommend the computer-based format. And also remember that our platform is kind of catered towards the computer format. So when you work on our platform, that is also going to be useful. Mm-hmm. So for writing, when providing an example, does that need to be realistic? By the way, guys, in case I don't answer some questions, I think my moderators would answer your questions too. No, you don't have to be realistic, right? But it should look like an example. So because the examples should be based on your knowledge and experience. So maybe that could be based on your experience. So that means from what you have experienced or what you know. But to be very honest, you can improvise a bit. So you don't have to be 100% honest with your points. The most important part is to develop your answers with relevant reasons. So that's a very important point. So, guys, that's it then. Anything else? Anything else you want to know about IELTS tips or preparation? Okay. So yes, remember, guys, we are starting two expert groups. Next week. So Monday, Wednesday, and Saturday, and then Tuesday, Thursday, and Saturday. Okay. Yeah, so not the moderators, but the consultants. We have fantastic consultants, guys, because these are very responsible people, because these are the people who communicate with us. Because our official representative in Sri Lanka is Leap Academy, because we are Masters Online. So our official representative is Leap Academy. So you'll be dealing with them. So usually it's a great organization, because quite often they tell us the issues of students, how we should help. Sometimes, some students, in case they fail the mock exam, they try to ask us to assist them, and we provide all the services free of charge. So that's how we work. So definitely they'll contact you tomorrow. So great, guys. I'm very happy that you found it useful. It matters to me a lot, because me and my team, we always try to make sure to provide quality education. And my main goal is to provide quality education to Sri Lanka, because, the point is, it's time to kind of have quality preparation. Because I've seen that nowadays, when you move to Dubai, when you move to another country, if we are not able to communicate properly, if we don't have a good standard of like education, it's going to be tough to survive. So communication is an important thing. In our programs, we focus on that, because it's high time to be the most valuable individual if you want to succeed. That's a very important part, guys, because we cannot focus on what to do with the problems, but we need to see how we can be a solution to the problem and how we can be valuable. So that's my mindset. So that's how we have created our program. And my other goal is to make you all valuable individuals. So you will have a great experience with us. I'm very sure about it, because, students are always satisfied. We have never had a complaint where students say I wasted my money. So we never get that, because, we give more than we should. So looking forward to teaching you all, guys. I'll take one more question. Yes, it's Leap Academy. Yes, Leap Academy. Yes. Uh, Listening skills. Well, the first thing is the obvious one, is to listen to podcast, watch documentaries, not movies, but BBC documentaries. So listen, expose yourself. Because if you listen to podcast, if you expose yourself, you will improve your listening skills and also your speaking skills, like intonation, pronunciation, pauses. That would be an important factor. Then, of course, you need to master the four essential skills. And learn the approach to every question type. So after mastering the four essential skills and the approach to every question type, then you need to focus on practice tests. So my answer for you is that don't start with practice test. First, expose yourself, learn the essential skills, learn the approach to every question type. That would be useful. That would be useful. Fine. So, guys, I wish you guys all the very best. And I wish you only the highest score in IELTS. I see there are a lot of points coming, so that's why I get a bit distracted. So I wish you guys all the very best. My only suggestion, guys, write it down a specific score. Like, I have achieved a 7.5 or I have achieved a band 8. In life, we need to be very specific with our goals. So write it down or say, like, I achieved 7.5 on, let's say, 8th of January or maybe 5th of December, for example, right? And write it down and visualize how things can improve in your life, how passing IELTS can transform or can be a game changer. Think about it. Make it a strong desire, and I'm pretty sure when the desire is strong, you will achieve your goal. And I think it's similar to anything that we want to achieve in life. So I wish you guys all the very best. Wish you the highest score. Have a great day. Looking forward to teaching you guys. Until then, take care. Goodbye. Thank you very much.